Okay, part 3 of our TestTEC Commons test. So, in this part, we're going to talk about hacking. I basically need to tell you how to hack our system, but there might be consequences. So, if you noticed in parts 1 and 2, if you watched, I submitted a proposal for 5xDie and it passed within 10 to 15 minutes because our token supply is so low, and I staked in my own proposal, a few other people voted, and it passed very quickly. So what's to say that I don't go in and just keep submitting proposals for 5xDie and then passing in 15 minutes by staking on my own proposal? And this could actually happen, right, at some point. So there are a couple of things to talk about surrounding this issue. Number one, the reason why, if you haven't heard of cadCAD, we do modeling and testing to see how people could interact with these systems and look at potential attack vectors. So luckily, we have already modeled conviction voting, conviction funding, and that model you can actually go and look at some of the outcomes. And we're working right now on a collaboration with cadCAD, with OneHive, Aragon, CommonStack, and a few other partners to model other parts of this system. So right now, conviction voting has been modeled, but what we are building, a bonding curve plus conviction voting, has not been modeled. And the reason that it's important to model is that we can find out how could people attack our system. And the other part is looking at Ostrom's principles and why it's so important we're doing the work we're doing with SoftGov and developing sanctions. So if I went in and I keep submitting proposals for 5xDie, let's say, because we have a trusted seed, because we know people's address that we're going to allow in the pre-hatch, we know who the people are that would be attacking our system that way and trying to drain the common pool nefariously. So that's one reason why we have a trusted seed before the hatch, so that we can ensure that our community is safe, that they're not going to be, attacking the system, and also that they're going to be the ones who are upholding sanctions. So we have to discuss and why SoftGov is working on conflict resolution and sanctions and documentation. What would we do as a community if someone came in right now? Somebody could come in and drain. I mean, luckily it's only 300 xDie, but what if this was common funds that we had put in? So modeling is very important, having sanctions and boundaries and a trusted seed and stewards to uphold the values of our community and make sure that the common pooled funds are going to the things we want to see it go to, and that someone doesn't come and kind of a nefarious actor pump and dump our token or drain the common pool. So there's a lot more that we can discuss surrounding these issues, but it's really important, especially when we have real money on the table, but even more important, why we do some of that testing now. So not that I'm encouraging anyone, because we'll know who you are and then we'll have to come up with some sanctions, but we do have to be aware of these potential circumstances and why token engineering is so important in all of these communities, as we've seen with some of the DeFi projects and audits not being done, some nefarious people putting holes in the back end. So that's why, especially with token engineering, we should model, test, and safely implement the Ostrom's principles in our commons so that we can make sure that we are good stewards of these shared resources. So if you'd like to discuss this topic, would love to see you submit an idea or go into the cafe or some of our forum categories and start having some of these discussions, and also reaching out on Telegram and Discord. So thank you so much for watching part 3 of our TestTEC Commons app, and I hope to hear from you soon.